The honourable member for Calgary-Glenmore.
Mr. Speaker, last week this House passed Bill 28, the Protecting Albertans from Convicted Sex Offenders Amendment Act, a piece of legislation that will make it harder for those guilty of heinous crimes of sexual violence to hide from their actions. This bill will also serve to enhance public safety. So you might imagine, Mr. Speaker, that I was shocked to hear that on the weekend, the member from Calgary-Buffalo said that this bill was, quote, bad for Albertans. To the Minister for Service Alberta, could you tell this House why this bill was in fact necessary and why the member is so very wrong?
The order, the honourable member for Minister for Service Alberta.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. After 15 months as an MLA, I thought I'd seen it all and that nothing the NDP could do would surprise me. But the member from Calgary-Buffalo has shown me that the NDP are capable of sinking to even new lows. I'm shocked that he thinks that protecting Alberta children, families and communities is bad for Albertans. Bill 28 is so important because it will ensure that no convicted sex offender will ever be able to change their names, hide from their past and hide in our communities. The member from Calgary-Buffalo may not think that this is good legislation, but child advocacy centres across the province do, survivors do. This side of the House is on the side of survivors and Alberta families, even if the NDP is not.
A point of order is noted at 2:06. The honourable member for Calgary-Glenmore.
Given, Mr. Speaker, that the member for Calgary-Buffalo in fact said that, quote, all of the UCP bills are bad, and given that this government has passed many urgent and necessary pieces of legislation, including the Protecting Survivors of Human Trafficking Act, and given that this presumably means that protecting vulnerable Albertans from the horrific crime of human trafficking is also, quote, bad for Albertans. To the Minister of Justice, can you explain to the House why this legislation was necessary, what it does to protect vulnerable Albertans, and why the member should reconsider his apparent opposition?
The Honourable the Minister of Justice, Solicitor General.
Mr. Speaker, there's jumping the shark, and then there's jumping the shark NDP style, Mr. Speaker. That bill is so important to protect human trafficking in our province, Mr. Speaker, and protect those that are vulnerable, combating human trafficking, Mr. Speaker. On top of that, let the irony of this situation sink in. They were there protesting a bill that they claim doesn't allow them to protest. That's why I go to the fact, Mr. Speaker, jumping the shark, and then there's jumping the shark like a member of the NDP.
The honourable member for Calgary-Glenmore.
Given, Mr. Speaker, that this government was elected on a platform that made significant commitments to help combat sexual violence, and given that vulnerable Albertans deserve these additional protections, and given that sexual violence in our society disproportionately affects women, to the Minister for Culture, Multiculturalism and the Status of Women, can you tell the House why these pieces of legislation are important to vulnerable women in our province and what kind of message the opposition member is sending by opposing them?
The Honourable Minister of Culture, Multiculturalism and the Status of Women.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for the question. During COVID-19, especially with isolation and extreme stress, there's obviously been a greater risk of domestic violence. So we've supported important initiatives like the Domestic Violence Leave Program, women's shelters, transitions programs, and provided an additional $5 million to ensure women and children can isolate in safety. However, I think this means nothing to the member from Calgary-Buffalo who believes that every initiative of our government is bad. I mean, they call people a faith nut bars. What do they want more in Alberta? Communism, evidently. And now this is the NDP's war on women.